Have you ever wondered how a planet can turn sunlight into food? It sounds almost impossible, yet this incredible process is responsible for producing nearly all the oxygen we breathe and the food that fuels life on Earth. Today you learn photosynthesis from an AP biology perspective, not by memorizing facts, but by understanding exactly how this remarkable process works. Let's begin. Why photosynthesis matter? Yes? Within days, oxygen levels would begin to decrease. Plants would stop producing glucose. Animals would lose their primary food source and the entire ecosystem would eventually collapse. Photosynthesis is the foundation of almost every food chain on Earth. It allows plants, algae, and certain bacteria to convert light energy into chemical energy stored in glucose molecules. Yes, this process not only provides food but also releases oxygen as a valuable byproduct. Every breath you take is connected to photosynthesis. Yes, so that photosynthesis do for us converts light energy, produces glucose, releases oxygen, and supports nearly all ecosystem. Yes, so before we explore the reactions, we need to understand where photosynthesis happens. In plant cells, photosynthesis occurs into specialized organelles called chloroplasts. Yes, each chloroplast contains stacks of flattened membrane sacs known as thylakoid. Yes? Here. Thylakoid. These stacks are called grana. Yes? The fluid surrounding them is called the stroma. Yes? Here is a stroma. Think of the chloroplast as a factory. The tall liquid membrane capture sunlight. Yes, capture sunlight. Yes, and produce energy molecules. Yes, the stroma uses those energy molecules to build glucose. Yes. And chloroplasts have outer membrane, yes, and inner membrane, and we told you the stroma and thylakoid is very important. So, two stages of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis occurs in two major stages. The first stage is called the light-dependent reactions, yes, and the second stage is known as the Calvin cycle. Each stage has a different role, but both depends on each other. So we can start with light-dependent reactions. The light-dependent reactions occurs in thylakoid membrane, yes, thylakoid membrane. Yes, here chlorophyll 2 absorbs photons from sunlight. Yes, chlorophyll 2. When light strikes chlorophyll 2, electrons become energized. Yes, these high energy electrons travel through a series of proteins called the electron transport chain. Yes, like this picture. Electron transport chain. Meanwhile, water molecules are split in a process called photolysis. Yes? This reaction produces electrons, hydrogen ions, and oxygen gas. Yes? This reaction. Yes? Photolysis. The oxygen is released into the atmosphere. Yes, This oxygen goes to atmosphere. So as electrons move through the transport chain, the cell generates ATP and NADPH. Yes? Too important. Think of ATP as the cell's energy currency. NADPH acts as an electron carrier that stores reducing power for the next stage. At this point, sunlight has been successfully converted into usable chemical energy. Yes? Now, we have to go to Calvin cycle. Got it, guys? From here, it's photosynthesis and its procedure. Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle takes place in stroma. Yes, as I said. Unlike the first stage, it doesn't require light directly. Instead, it uses ATP and NADPH produced earlier, yes, in light-dependent reactions, yes. The cycle begins with carbon fixation, yes, here. An enzyme called Rubisco captures carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, yes. The carbon atoms are gradually rearranged through several reactions, yes, here. Eventually, the plant produces G3P, yes, a 3-carbon sugar, 3-carbon. Some G3P molecules leave the cycle to help build glucose, yes. The remaining molecules regenerate the starting compound here, so the cycle can continue. This continuous recycling is why it's called a cycle, yes? So, photosynthesis doesn't always occur at the same rate. 3 major factors influence it. First is light intensity, yes? More light generally increases photosynthesis until saturation occurs. Second is carbon dioxide concentration, yes? Higher CO2 usually increases glucose production. Yes? And finally, the temperature. Since photosynthesis depends on enzymes, extremely low or high temperature reduce efficiency. Plants perform best within an optimal temperature rate. Many students confuse ATP with glucose. Remember, ATP is temporary energy. Yes? And glucose is long-term stored energy. Yes? Another common mistake is believing oxygen comes from carbon dioxide. It actually comes from water molecule during photolysis. Yes? Do you remember? Finally, remember this sequence. Light reactions first, Calvin cycle second, ATP and NADPH connect both stages. If you understand this flow instead of memorizing isolated facts, AP biology questions become much easier. Have a good time, guys.